I found this unique component that I like to share with you in this video. It's called React Wheel Picker. So as you can see, it's basically iOS-like wheel picker for React. So we can use natural touch scrolling in this component, and also we can use mouse drag and scroll support for the desktop, and also we can set the scrolling into infinite as well. So as you can see, if I scroll, right, it just works. If I do mouse drag, it also works. And if you want to render this component into the mobile, it also works with natural touch scrolling. So let me show you how to just use this component. It's really easy, just copy and paste stuff. So let's generate brand new React application using feed. So in here, we can use this dash dash and then dash dash template and any template you like to use. In this case, I'm going to use React-TS for React TypeScript. So this is the command right here. So I'm going to hit enter. As you can see, I create my wheel picker demo folders right here. So I'm going to say cd to my wheel picker demo and open that into Visual Studio Code. So now we need to install and set up ShadCN. So let's go to the ShadCN UI, and in here I use feed. Click that, and after we generate the React application using feed, now we need to install this package right here. So I'm going to copy and paste. It basically will install Tailwind CSS and add Tailwind CSS/feed. And also we need to update the index.css using this import Tailwind CSS right here. Go to source and then index.css. I'm going to remove everything and put the Tailwind CSS. And also we need to update the tsconfig.json file. So let's take a look at this one right here. And what we need to update is this one right here, compiler option. So let's copy that. After this array, reference array, we need to put that compiler option. So after the reference, put this compiler option right here. Great. So the next thing is, let's take a look. We need to also update the tsconfig.app.json, which is this one right here. What we need to update is basically the compiler options, right? So let's take a look at the compiler options. I just want to search that compiler options right here, and then just put this inside the compiler options. So I'm going to put that on the very bottom right here, just paste that like that. Here we go. So now we need to do is just update the feed.config.ts file. So let's open that file, feed.config.ts, which is this one right here. But first we need to install this type/node. So I'm going to copy that and then just paste that down here and hit enter. And also for the content, I just want to copy everything in here and just paste that to the feed config. Just paste that like this. Okay, so everything should be fine, but I think I'm not yet installed the React and React DOM, I believe. So let's run npm install, and here we go. So now we can do npm run dev. Let's try to now we can say npx ShadCN lattice init, right? So let's just run it on another terminal right here, npx ShadCN at lattice init. And then I'm going to say neutral and then -- force. Now we can just install any component we want in the ShadCN world, right? So let's try to install, for example, this button. I'm going to copy that and just paste that like this. It will install the button on the UI, I believe. Of course, I'm going to use -- force. And now we should see the components and then button right here. Okay, great. So now let's move into the React wheel picker, and then we need to just install this component. I'm going to copy that command, and then I just want to let me just close this one and just run it. npx ShadCN lattice at this URL right here. So I'm going to use -- force, and let's take a look what we have. All right, so it's basically install the component inside a component folder. So as you can see, we have component and then wheel picker component. This is basically the component that we can use. So in here, we have this wheel picker and also wheel picker wrapper to wrapping this wheel picker. And also we have this type right here, wheel picker class name and wheel picker option. So let's try to see how we can use that. The first thing is I just want to run npm run dev. And then into the app.tsx, I just want to just remove everything in here, right? And I just want to just return really simple div, just like this. So let's try to open the localhost 5173. And of course, this is a blank right now because we just have a div. So inside this div, what I'm going to do is let's try to render the wheel picker wrapper first. And then inside that wheel picker wrapper, we need to render the wheel picker wheel picker, it should be self-closing tag like this. And inside that, we need to send the options. So let's try to see on the documentation right here, we need to send the options, right? So let's do option set equals to, I'm going to create basically array called options. So I'm going to copy that name and let's create that on the top right here. Cons option set equals to array. And I want to paste this some object right here that have label and also the value. So the type of this option, it should become from this wheel picker file as well. So let's import that. So basically we are going to use wheel picker, I believe option should become from the component slash wheel picker as well. And as you can see, we just import the type. Okay, so after we send the option right here, just make sure the wheel picker option, it should be inside the array like this. Create. So now let's try to create the state. So I'm going to create state called selected framework. Just make sure we import the use state. And as you can see, by default, I just put feed as a value right here, right? So let's try to send the value set equals to selected framework, and also we need to send on value change set equals to this set selected framework basically. Let's take a look at the result on the browser, and here we go. That's beautiful. So of course I can just using drag and also scroll by default. That's amazing. And also I can just add class name in here, the maximal width. I'm going to set that to, for example, extra small, and I'm going to make it the MX to auto. So let's do that, and as you can see, this is the result. I can do margin top to, for example, 10, and here we go, right? So let's try to console log the selected framework. I'm just wondering what we get on that console. Let's go to inspect and then console. So let's try to select any value in here, Gatsby, for example. So we have that Gatsby. So if I scroll up, next.js, we get next.js. So let's try to see what the another props that we can send on this wheel picker. As you can see on the bottom right here, we have the option, value, default value, on value change, infinite by default is false. So let's put that as a true. So here I'm going to say infinite set equals to true. And let's try to see what we have. And as you can see, now this should be infinite scrolling. Alright, so hope this video helpful and you can implement this React wheel picker on your next project. See you guys on the next one.